I'm Freya and we're called DEFRAYA and the Tank Girls.
So first of all, how did you get into the music business and produce an album?
I've listened to music my whole life. My parents brought me up consistently listening to music, and the radio's always on in my house. They put it on for the dogs now when none of us are home. But it was about 3 years ago I actually started trying to pursue music as more of just like than a hobby. Through a friend called Izzy, I met someone called Monica Ward who coached me for a while.
So who influenced you growing up music-wise?
A lot of the music was my mum's music, so I kind of grew up in like Human League, which I've been listening to a lot more recently actually because I found a vinyl in my old bedroom. And then like the Blossoms, just like all of the oldie kind of things, and I had a massive thing for Queen for a while, and then Elton John, just kind of all over the spectrum really.
So how are we sat here today and you're producing an album?
It was a real whirlwind, really. I met Mike, and then like the next day he called me, and honestly I didn't think he was going to call me because I've had people say to me before like, oh, we're going to produce like this and that with you, and then they just never call you again, or they get vocals off you and then they leave you. And then within a week we'd already put down the first song, which would be Wigwam Bam, and it's just kind of tumbleweeded from there. We've kind of made our own genre as well.
So can you tell me how you got involved in making an album?
I had a vocal coach called Monica Ward who was my coach probably about a year ago, and now we're kind of just friends and we do music together. And she took me to a gig where I met Mike Bennett, and he said he wanted me to do backing for like an indie band that he had, and then actually went and heard me sing, and then said he wanted to do a project with me on my own. And then it's gone really quickly. We've probably put down 10 tracks already. It's just been an immense experience. What
was the process of choosing the tracks that you've produced to put on the album?
A lot of them Mike have suggested, and I've already known and loved the songs before. Our kind of idea was older songs that maybe people from that generation haven't heard in a while, and then reintroducing older music in a new kind of more kind of glam, like modern way to people from my generation who've probably never heard the songs before.
What genre would you say you are?
Me and Mike have created our own little genre, which we call Glam and B, like a bug, because my vocals are very R&B, quite soulish, because it shows off my range. That's why I went into that direction when I first started singing. And then I listened to glam. Obviously, Mike like produces a lot of glam, so it just kind of fit because it was both our taste, but with a different vocal element.
Is the B element any connection with Manchester?
Yeah, we're going to put a little Manchester B next to it because this is our roots, like this is where we come from.
What was the first track that you did and why you chose it, or why you and Mike chose it?
First one we did was Wigwam Bam by the Donners, and I said to Mike, I love this song, and I was like, I don't think you'll have heard it, and he was like, of course I've heard this song.
So basically, can you expand a bit on Wigwam Bam?
It's kind of not really that much glam, it's just, I can't even describe, it's, for lack of a better word, the vibe is like immense. You just can't help but love the song. So it was a really good one to like introduce the album for, because you kind of just have to like dance to it and sing along.
Was this covered by Sweet?
The Donners.
I remember the versions from Sweet. They really were a glam band. Yeah. So can you comment on that?
Yeah, I love bands like that. I love Motley Crue. I've convinced Mike to let me do one that's kind of inspired by Motley Crue. It was great to kind of have those roots for it, but the Donners one was kind of more the vibe we're going to, was like specifically glam, like with other elements, and it kind of fit better for like the kind of genre we're making.
Shut it in.
Other tracks that you've done for the album, is it a mixture of original songs and some, well, I hate to say it, but sort of cover songs?
Yeah, we've done a couple covers, things like classics like people like Kiki D, and then again like the Donnas, and then we did a song which was originally Eddie and the Hot Rods, and then we did kind of a cover by someone from Hannah Rocks. But a lot of them are things that like Mike have wrote and Steve Etherington has wrote a few. Like there's been so many people that have collaborated with us for this project because they've really like backed it, which makes me feel great.
Am I right in saying that the 70s songs, you sort of brought them up to sort of a more modern, upbeat version?
Yeah, it's kind of hitting this more like newer generation. Like for Wigwam Bam, like for instance, none of my friends had ever heard the song before. I'd played them the Donnas and they were like, seems a bit old. And I played them like my version when I got the first like demo of it, I guess you can call it. They were like, that rocks. Like I would listen to that. If it came on the radio, I'd sing along to that. Might be them just stroking my ego.
Can you tell me about some of the tracks that you think will appeal to the new generation of music fans?
Some of the songs that we've had written, on one track that we've laid down today, we had 3 people from the Smiths on it, which was incredible, people from Suede, and all of those like incredible bands that no one from my generation would know. We've kind of made them into something that's a bit more accessible, kind of, for lack of a better word, to people my age. Twice now, I think it was, where I was like packing up and getting ready to leave, and Mike's like, can we just put this one song down? It's like 10 minutes. And he likes to say it had a Janis Joplin vibe, and I'd never known I could sing like that. I'd never been compared like that because I'd never had the opportunity just to go for something and be like one take and just have it down. But they're some of my favourite songs currently.
Because of studios, etc., being locked down, more and more music's been produced from home. So perhaps you can tell me a little bit about that.
The raw aspect of being able to do it in like a setting like this, it's a lot more comfortable, less stilted, and I find it very easy just to kind of experiment. Like if I'm doing an ad-lib, to add more of the R&B aspect. If it's a very glam song, it's a lot more organic kind of, and it just makes everything have that rawness to it that you want, because it's not like processed. It's not like there to be a good, like to hit like top 10. It's there because it's a good song and you enjoy singing it, which is what I look for whenever I sing anything, really.
Right, you mentioned rhythm and blues, but the sort of tracks you've chosen are more sort of glam rock, can I call it that? So can you say something about that?
The songs are very glam rock because Mike loves it, I love it. I've grown up on that kind of music, but my vocals are very tailored to R&B, but adding that like different genre, it's given it a whole new aspect and it'll open it up to a whole new range of people as well. So it won't just be people who like glam rock or just people that like R&B. We can like go for the people in the middle that enjoy them both and like kind of make them get into a different genre, I guess, explore more, I guess you could say.
I believe already you got some fans from big names. Perhaps you can just tell me a little bit about that.
One of the bands, they've really believed in this project, even though like I'm not like a name person, I've not got a big name, I've never really done anything like this. They've really believed it, which is the Rubettes, and they've actually invited me to an arena gig with them, which is absolutely incredible. And the amount of songs that they've written for me, we've got a massive file on a laptop that's probably about 40 songs that have been sent for me, and just the amount of people that have actually put work into this and kind of believe in me is like really supporting, and I really enjoy it.
So the whole image and the animation, how does that work?
So currently we've kind of got 2 bands. We've got an animated one which is on YouTube that Steve Bowden did for me, which is absolutely incredible. I could never imagine myself as a cartoon, you never really think of that, and I watched the video the other day and it's smashing, like it's incredible. And then we have my like real life band, which is like an all-girl band behind me.
Right, you're working with legendary Mike Bennett. I wasn't going to say anything about the Spice Girls. So how is he making you not just another girl band?
It's not really about being a girl band, it's kind of so much more than that. Like he just said, I'm not the Spice Girls. There's feminist aspects to it because I believe in feminism, I would say I am, but I'm not going to be aggressive about it. It's not about like throwing something down someone's throat, but it's kind of empowering us, but it's not going to be poppy or like candy like for the radio. It's like music with purpose.
Well, Mike's worked with many artists, and one of the bands he's worked with in the past is Fuzzbox, so perhaps you can tell me the collaboration you're going to do with them.
We're going to do a song from like kind of them, but we're not going to do one of their like very known hits. It's going to be one of the more obscure ones that we've done with the rest of the covers that we've done, just because it's not made to be massive, it's made to like be a good song and kind of be independent.
So the traditional way of promoting your album or your latest songs is to go on tour. So any thoughts of what you're going to be doing for that?
Oh, I have no idea. Since I started singing, I've always wanted to go on tour. Like, you watch people on tour, it looks like they have the best time of their lives. But yeah, for kind of getting it out there, we have like kind of PR person, I guess. I can't really think of the word. Laura Beth, who's just been amazing. I spoke to her the first time I met Mike, and she's really been pushing this, and she really believes in it. So like, I've love for her. She's been amazing.
So how are you going to promote your album?
Obviously, because of COVID, we can't really go on tour or do anything like that, but I've got some amazing people behind me, like Laura Beth, Terry Marsh, and then Leah, who keeps Mike in check and keeps him really organised.
So, can you tell me about where and when we can expect to see you live?
We're not going to be doing like the usual pub circuit kind of around Manchester. We're going to be doing more bespoke gigs, kind of things in like prisons and then like museums. It's going to be bespoke, it's going to be different, kind of fit the image that we're looking for.
So will you be appearing with any headlining acts?
I'm going to be doing an arena gig with the Rubettes, and then also I'm sponsored to NARM Festival in California next year. Well, whenever it happens due to COVID.
How does a young lady doing her first album end up performing in California?
I have no idea, really. It's so surreal to me, but Mike's got me in touch with people that are absolutely amazing, people like Terry Marsh, like I've said before. He's been really pushing it and kind of giving me that chance to kind of prove myself instead of like kind of building it, just like kind of throwing me in the deep end, but I'm so excited.
So I believe you've done a little bit of acting, but you're going to be appearing in a film called Laundromat. So perhaps you can tell me a little bit about that, and I believe that you'd be singing a song in it as well.
Just to be even put next to people like Daryl Hannah, that's just incredible. I would never imagine I'd ever done something like that in my life. The last time I think I acted was in my like GCSE piece, but it's absolutely incredible. And for one of my songs to be on like in the music for it, I think it's probably going to be Car Crash TV, which no one will have heard yet, but because that fits kind of the genre best. But it's absolutely incredible, even to have been considered for it, but to actually have the part of Group Suzette is beyond amazing.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about what happens in the movie?
Well, my character kills her brother via tumble dryer and then decides to sell him off as a laundry detergent, which is kind of odd, but I like the odd.
So I could say you're a Manc band. So will you be performing or collaborating with any Manchester bands?
Yeah, we will. There's a lot of people from Manchester that have really put things behind this, and it's just incredible to kind of be in that scene, which is just kind of immense. And I never thought I would be, really. Been a bit of a dream for years.
So can you drop a couple of names?
Don't know if I'm allowed.
Is there anything you want to add to what we already said?
Just that I'm immensely grateful for everyone who's put anything behind me, and to Mike especially, because he wanted me to do something before he'd even heard me sing, which is incredible.
So at the moment you're studying, so perhaps you tell me what you're studying for. Yeah. So presently you're studying college and hoping to go to university and do a degree. So now you've suddenly become involved in the music scene. So what do you hope for the future?
Well, I'm definitely going to finish off my A-levels doing law, psychology and English language, and I do love them, but I never really thought that I would ever get even this far in music. So, like, college and uni was just kind of the place you go. But I'm thinking I'm going to take a year or two off and then decide if I'm going to go to uni to really, like, give this music thing a chance, because it is what I'm most passionate about. I'm Freya and we're called DEFRAYA and the Tank Girls.
So first